Good day, everyone. I am Dr. Judith D. Intong of the Department of Agricultural Education and Extension of the College of Agriculture, CMU. I will be the one to facilitate the course Management of Extension Programs. I hope that you will find the course interesting even during this pandemic. Thank you very much.
Good day. Our topic for this day is on this is the first chapter of Management of Extension Program. So this is Management and Organizational Theories. In this chapter, we will try to look into the history of management as well as the definition of management. Okay, let's start with the history. So even before the Industrial Revolution, management comes from the root word manage, which is Italian from the Italian word managere, which means to the English word to handle, to train, to be in charge of, as in controlling horses. So actually, it started with the training of the horse, the handling of the horse. Managere comes from the Latin word as well, manos. Even in Spanish, manos means hand. So management comes from the Latin word manos or handling or a hand. The French word management, which actually later became management, influenced the development of the English word management in the 15th and 16th centuries. So if you try to go back to the French word, it means management first, then it has been translated into management and later become management in the English word. It was Frederick Winslow Taylor who is the father of modern management. Okay, then let's try to look into the definition of management. So there are a lot of authors if you try to go into the internet, and I got this only two. I think I've tried to focus on two management definitions. First is management is a creative, dynamic process designed to establish and maintain an environment where people can work together. This is because to accomplish the objective. So if we try to look into this definition, uh, we have these different phrases from this definition. First is management is a creative, dynamic process. So it is more of an art rather than a science. But later we'll try to look at the differences between arts and science in the word management. So when we say creative dynamic process, the effective or an effective manager recognizes that there are series of steps or functions that are followed creatively rather than mechanically. So you could do it in your own ways creatively. It may not necessarily be first step, second step, and third step, and so on and so forth. But creatively, you could make your own ways throughout these different steps. To be creative, you must be willing to find new and better ways to accomplish things. So you should be able to be very as well innovative and resourceful to look for better ways to accomplish the tasks, to seek new solutions to old problems, as well as to increase your abilities and outputs. So be very creative. You should have always to remember that there is room for improvement. Nothing at one time that you're already be perfect, but even if you'll be successful at the first instance, there could always be room for improvement for the next case or for the next situation. Okay, so that's the first one, creative and dynamic process. Second part of the definition of management is establishing and maintaining an environment. So it deals with establishing and maintaining an environment. First, before you could maintain an environment, you need to establish first that environment. So what is that environment about? This environment involves other factors than just the physical environment. It's not just the building or the equipment or the materials, but it includes the locus of decision making, who is the center of the decision making, what is the clarity or how clear is the objective, and then the relationship between the manager and the subordinate, even the payment or the compensation to the personnel, the opportunity for individual recognition and growth. So this is included in that environment that we need to establish. And this does not just to make a productive environment, but how to maintain that environment. So we need to look into the different aspects and components of the environment, establishing that environment. I would like to emphasize that it is not just the physical environment, it includes the human environment, the behavioral environment, and everything that will be considered within an organization. Having established one, you need to make it productive, and it's not just in one time, but maintain the productivity of that environment. So establishing and maintaining an environment. And the next to establishing and maintaining environment, you may ask why we are going to establish and maintain that environment. Because we would like for people to work together. So that is a big emphasis on people can work together. Maybe you as at your age you have observed or you have uh, listen to people murmurings of workers that do not like their co-workers, that they're always quarreling with one another. So you could say that maybe it's difficult for them to work together. So in the organization, in management, we would like to establish and maintain that environment where people can work together. It means for the manager, you need to recognize that when you are dealing with people, these are individuals. So they are not just taken from one group of a village or family, but they belong to different families. They belong to different groups. They belong to different cultures, different environment. So these are individuals who are members of different groups, and these people have different hopes, they have different dreams, they have different aspirations, they have even different problems, they have different issues in lives and in different experiences, which may run in conflict with the goals and objectives of the organization. And these experiences of the people may actually run from successes to failures. And this we would like to join together for them to be able to work productively together. So I would like to emphasize that as a manager, we'll be working with people of different walks, from different walks of life, with different problems, with different hopes, and yet we would like them to work together. Why again? Because the next part of the definition of management is we would like to accomplish objectives. And this is not just the objective of the organization, maybe for profit, for an educational institution, we would like to to produce graduates which may run the industry in the society, help improve our uh, society for the development of the country. So it's not just for the objectives of the organization, but we need to accomplish as well as the objective of the individual persons in the organization, which at all may be different. The objectives of the organization may be very different from the objective of each member of the organization or each member of the group. And yet, we would like both on all to accomplish the objective. So this involves for the part of the management the ability to accomplish organization's objectives and the ability of the members to accomplish their own objectives. For example, at CMU, we would like to produce graduates who will be employable, be able to help in the development of the country, of the progress of the country. While on the other hand, the faculty members, the personnel will be able also to accomplish their own objective of feeding their family, sending their children to school, or whatever health care they need, or for entertainment purposes, or any objective of the individual. So an effective manager should be able to achieve both accomplishing the organization's objectives and helping the members to accomplish their objectives. Hopefully, we will be able to reunite or to join together. This objective should not be competing or conflicting, but rather as mutually supportive and attainable. And that is what an effective and an efficient manager could do. Okay, so I think we have already discussed that first definition. It is a dynamic and a creative process of establishing and maintaining an environment where people can work together to accomplish objectives. Okay, another definition of management, aside from what we have just discussed, is that management is the process of using organizational resources to achieve organizational objectives through the functions of planning, decision making, organizing, leading, and controlling. We have a long uh, topic, another topic on these different functions of management, so I would not like to deal on into this today in this particular definition, but what I would like to emphasize is have to look at management as the process, step by step way of using the manager have to use organizational resources, and these resources may be physical resources, financial resources, it could be social resources or human resources, and even informational resources to achieve that objectives of the organization. Okay, I have here one figure on the features of management. So there are 7 features of management. First one is management is associated with group efforts. So we know already, we have already discussed previously that management is through a group of people working together towards accomplishing a goal. So these are individuals which should be able to be to that the manager be able to manage in order to achieve goals. Says that goals are achieved more readily by a group than by any person alone. So it is through, if you are going to achieve a goal, it will be through group efforts. So that's the first feature of management, through group efforts, not individual efforts. Second is management is purposeful. So when there is management, there is a purpose. There is always that goal to be achieved. So it deals with the achievement of something definite, expressed in terms of goal or objective. We should have to understand that management success is commonly measured by the extent to which objectives are achieved. So we could say that management is effective if it has been able to accomplish that purpose for which it is working for. Okay, another one is management is accomplished through the efforts of other. So while this is quite related to the first feature of with group efforts, it is accomplished through the efforts of others. So this is getting things done through other efforts. So manager may be different persons, but they should be working with other people, and that manager should be able to integrate all the works of these other people towards a particular goal. So management is accomplished through the efforts of others. So we should be able, how different we are, we should be able to unite, as we have discussed previously, to establish and maintain that environment where people could work together. The next one is feature is management is goal oriented. So there is that focus. The manager should focus their attention and efforts on bringing about successful action. So successful managers should have an urge for accomplishment. So we have people who are very, very much goal oriented. Every effort, every task should be done towards, it should not be a useless task, a wasteful task, but done towards the accomplishment of a goal. Okay, another one is management is indispensable. No, it could not be replaced nor substituted by anything else. Even how perfect or how sophisticated an apps or in a computer, it could not replace management. No? So we always and will still be needing management or the manager. The next one is management is intangible. There are a lot of things in management which are intangible. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it, you cannot feel it. So there are unseen forces within management as a group of people working together. The motivation of the people, the relationship of the people between and among them, the discipline of the people in the group towards working towards an output or a goal, or even high productivity. It is not just merely more into the pesos or the yields in terms for in agriculture, but productivity as a whole. There is that intangible part of that. Um, so that even the word mismanagement is also intangible. There could be different aspects in the whole management work where a person was not able to do. So there's this mismanagement. So management is intangible. And the last one is management can ensure better life. Manager can do much to improve the work environment, to stimulate people to perform better, to achieve progress, to bring hope, and to accomplish better things in life. As we have discussed previously, we need to accomplish the objectives, and it's not just the objective of the organization, but the objective of the individual members of the organization. And so if the organization is the goal of the organization has been accomplished, hopefully it would bring better life for the people working towards that accomplishment of the objective. Okay, the next one is there is now here the difference between how are we going to treat management. Is it an art or it's a science? So for one, management is both an art and a science. First, management is an art because it organizes and uses human talent. So our practical knowledge gained from our experiences, our previous experiences, our personal skill. There are people who are very good social skills, dealing with other people. This could be part on how they do management later. Creativity, the perfection through practice with the experiences they got through, with the many ups and downs or failures and successes, they may be able to use it better for the next time around in managing and in goal oriented. Management is a science because it follows a systematic method to find possible solution to a problem or for a problem. It needs concepts to explain why are these problems happening, how to go about these problems. We need to look at the methods and principles, and there could be a lot already been discovered and established, and so we need to review them and be able to creatively apply them in our own situation. It needs theories to understand better and to make better decision towards the accomplishment of the goal. It is an organized knowledge. Management is a science, and then it is a practice as well. So it has already been structured as a field of study. So in here we could conclude management is both an art and a science. Okay, when we hear the word management, it may connotes different, other than what we have already defined, it may connotes different meanings. For example, we could say that management could be a discipline or a field of study. For example, you ask a friend and he or she would say, I am taking Bachelor of Science in Agribusiness Management or in Office Management or Business Management. So then we could say in their management, that word management deals with a field of study, or it is a discipline. Other look at management as people. For example, you look at an instruction or an announcement, according to the management, all people, or this time now, according to the IATF during the pandemic, as the management component of the government to for this pandemic, we should have to wear our mask and have to observe social distancing and other health protocols. So management there refer to people. They are the ones who carry out the process of management. And the last one is we could look at management as a career. So there are those people who would say, what is your work? I'm doing management. So it refers to a long series of related jobs leading to more responsibility that exhibit more managerial competence. Okay, so that's the last of this first topic of the first chapter. I would end with this quote, don't just do it, lead it. Okay, so wait for the next topic. Thank you very much.